Hello everyone, welcome to Diagnose It. Today we have this case and this is a 45-year-old female who presented with this high-grade fever and progressive shortness of breath. And there this chest x-ray is given in front of you and there is this history of diagnostic right ureteroscopy for recurrent renal colic. And we are to make the diagnosis with this history and this radiograph. So after this history and this radiograph, in this radiograph you can clearly see this is a case of pleural effusion. And with this history and this pleural effusion, I can say that this is a rare cause of pleural effusion, or we just have to suspect that this pleural effusion can be due to this rare cause. This is called as urinothorax, which means the fluid that is present between the two layers of pleura. This is urine, and this condition, this is called as urinothorax. So we'll follow a regular way of discussion. And firstly, starting with what is this urinothorax? Well, this is basically the presence of urine in between the two layers of pleura in an amount that is sufficient to cause this pleural effusion. This is called as urinothorax. Now let's come to why it occurs. What are the causes? Well, most of the time it is associated with some kind of surgical procedure done in the kidney or in the ureter. The surgical procedures can be like this ureteroscopy done here, or PCNL, this percutaneous nephrolithotomy, or ESWL, extracorporeal shockwave lithotripsy. These are basically two procedures for stone in the kidney or sometimes in the ureter also. Retroperitoneal inflammation, some kind of trauma to the ureter, or sometimes trauma to the kidney also. Any urinary obstruction, well, it is quite rare to be seen in urinary obstruction, but yeah, it is seen. So these are the major causes, and this urinary obstruction can be due to any cause, like any stone or any stricture or any malignancy in the ureter. So due to these causes, what happens is there is the urine that leaks outside the kidney or outside the ureters, and that leads to formation of urinoma. Urinoma is basically the collection of urine in the retroperitoneal space. Then what happens is, when urine from this urinoma leaks inside the pleural cavity, then this leads to development of urinothorax. And how urine goes from this urinoma between the two layers of pleura? Well, for that there are two theories. One theory is that this urine goes to the pleural cavity via the lymphatics. The difference in the two theories is that in the first theory, that the lymphatics directly drain the urine from this urinoma towards the pleural cavity. And the second theory states that these lymphatics takes the urine from this urinoma to the peritoneal cavity. And from the peritoneal cavity, other lymphatics or via direct pores via the diaphragm, this urine goes between the two layers of pleura. Now let's come to the presentation part, how the patient presents. Well, the presentation of this urinothorax is just like the presentation of any other pleural effusion. The patient usually presents with this shortness of breath, what we call as this dyspnea, flank pain. Yeah, this is a history that is, we can't say it is quite specific for this urinothorax, but yeah, it is seen in cases of urinothorax because this flank pain may be due to the this urinoma formation. And the other features can be this fever. Yeah, these are the features by which this patient of urinothorax presents. Now let's come to the diagnosis part, how we diagnose this case of urinothorax. Firstly, when the patient presents with these kind of symptoms, then this first investigation that is done is this chest x-ray. And in the chest x-ray, you can clearly see this is a case of pleural effusion. If you want to know all the radiological findings that you can see in this chest x-ray, you can watch a previous video that I've recorded. This was about this pleural effusion. After this chest x-ray, we can go for other investigations like this IVP, intravenous pyelography. In this IVP, we can see the leakage of contrast from the retroperitoneal space to the pleural cavity. The other investigation we can go for this abdominal and thoracic CT scan. And in the CT scan, we can see the presence of urinoma, and along with urinoma, we can confirm basically the presence of this urinothorax. And we can also go for technetium 99 DTPA scan, and by this DTPA scan we can appreciate the extravasation of urine from the region of kidney. Like we can clearly see from which region of kidney or from the ureter, from which part of the ureter urine is leaking and forming the urinoma. So these are basically the radiological investigations for the diagnosis of urinothorax. So how we confirm that it is the urine that is causing this urinothorax? For that we need to go for this biochemical investigation of the fluid by the Leitz criteria. There is a criteria to classify this pleural effusion in the exudative and transudative form. According to Leitz criteria, most of the time it is transudative. That is, the protein in this is less. If you want to know more about it, you can also watch that previous video about the pleural effusion, in which I have discussed about this Lights criteria. Other findings that you can see in this biochemical investigation of this fluid, you can clearly appreciate the smell. One is, by the smell, only the smell, you can clearly say that this is a smell, kind of urine like smell. Next is, you can see this glucose. This glucose is low. The pH is also low. And this LDH level, these LDH levels are usually elevated. And the protein concentration is low. That you can say by the Lights criteria also. These are just the biochemical findings that you can see in this fluid, in this urinothorax. So this was about the diagnosis part of this urinothorax. Now let's come to the last part about the treatment of this urinothorax. And in the treatment, the thing is, firstly we need to find out from where the urine is leaking, and if that leak needs a surgical repair, then repair that surgically. And if we can manage it conservatively, then just manage it conservatively, so that that leak will get corrected by its own, and with time this pleural effusion, this urinothorax, this also subsides. Even after the repair or conservative management, this urinothorax is not subsiding, or if the fluid that is present here is massive, then this ICD, this intercostal drainage tube, should be inserted. And this is the management that should be done in this case of urinothorax. So this is all you need to know about this urinothorax. If you have any question regarding this, then do post it in the comment section below, or you can also DM me on my Instagram handle at DiagnoseIt. And don't forget to like this video and share this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.